Hey, conscious creators, it's Kathryn here, and I wanted to just jump online and have a quick chat about why it's so important to be really clear in your focus for what you want, for the life that you desire. Now, what can happen is you can know what you want, but then all the beliefs that you've grown up with of worthiness and putting other people first and just whatever beliefs that you have, they all start to creep in and they all start to go, yeah, but what, and start making you doubt that, what you want is possible, or taking you off track, and so you lose your focus. It's super important for you to be so focused on what you want, but not to the point of where it's an effort. It's just, you just know that what you want is coming to you. And that's all about alignment, of just being in alignment with what you want. One example that I love to talk about from my life is when I got my first job in radio. Was that when I was in high school, all I wanted to be was a radio announcer. It was just something I knew within myself that I would do. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I didn't even think about how I was going to do it. I just knew that I would do it, but I lived it and I breathed it. I'd be at home at night making mixtapes, on cassette tapes off the radio, and which I know a lot of people did, but I did it imagining that I was in the studio, that I was the announcer, and when I'd play records, I'd dream about being in the radio station, but I would see myself there and I would feel myself there. And I made friends with people in radio, and it was just something that was just within me. And that's the best way I can describe it, is living it and breathing it and just knowing within you that that's what's going to happen. Because 3 weeks out of school, I went to straight out of school, I went to the employment service. They said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to work in radio. They literally laughed at me. Because I was 17, and this was back in the 80s, and they're just going, yeah, okay, whatever. What do you really want to do? And even people today, they're still told that if they want to pursue a creative career, oh, there's no future in that. What do you really want to do? There's this whole thing of working for the man, and that it's not possible to create a career that's creative, but it is. This is the thing. If it is so ingrained in someone and they just know that that's what they want to do, then they'll be guided by their soul and their higher self to create that career. They'll just be guided. It will just happen. So I said to them, no, I really want to work in radio. And they said, okay, all right, well, good luck with that. And then 3 weeks later, they rang me up and said, you're not going to believe this, but we have had this job come in. And I went for the interview and I got the job, and it was the perfect job. It was exactly what I had envisaged, which was I wanted to be a radio announcer, but I was too scared to speak into a microphone, which the two sort of go hand in hand. If you want to be a radio announcer, you really need to speak into a microphone. But this job was putting the Midnight Till Dawn program to air, and the announcer's voice was pre-recorded. So I was doing everything a radio announcer would do except speak. And it was at that point that I started to realize that I could create magic in my life. And I didn't realize it was a thing. I just knew that I could do it, and that the possibilities were endless. So later on down the track, I started to get this urge that I wanted to be a singer. I didn't want to play the songs anymore. I wanted to actually perform them. Again, still too afraid to get up and speak in front of people, let alone sing in front of people. I'd never sung in front of anyone before except in a school choir. And it was this overwhelming fear of actually doing it. But I just knew that that's what I wanted to do, perform on stages around the world. And I was guided to that. There was one night I was in America working at a summer camp. We went to a karaoke. This was in the early 90s. And I just knew within myself, I had this overwhelming feeling that night I had to get up and sing. I'd never sung in front of anyone before. The idea scared the living daylights out of me, but I just knew that I had to do it. So I asked this other girl if she would get up and sing with me, and we did. And that was a turning point. That was the turning point, because when we went back to camp, there were other opportunities to get up on stage, and I took them with her in tow. Like she got up and she really helped me, and I'll be forever thankful to her for that. But I did it. And when I came home, I started comparing karaoke shows, and that's how I got into my singing career. I then started having singing lessons. And then when I met my partner, he was an entertainer, and through his experience, we then traveled the world performing around the world on world stages. So that's how it all unfolded. It wasn't that I said, set a definite path for any of this, and this is how I'm going to do this. I just knew within myself that that's what was going to happen. Didn't know how, didn't know when, I just knew. Another one that comes up is when I was really sick. That one of the things I didn't realize with the whole conscious creation thing is that while I could create what I wanted, I was also creating what I didn't want. And that was endometriosis, which is when people are told they have that, when women are told they have that, they're told it's an incurable disease. They'll have it for the rest of their life. So I went along for 18 years with this story playing over in my head. But at the same time, there was this feeling within me that I would be well one day. Didn't know how, didn't know when, I just knew. So when it came time for surgery, when it got that bad that I needed surgery, the doctors would say, well, we might need to take this organ out, or we might need to take that out. And I just said flat no, because something within me was saying, no, don't touch them. By all means, go in, tidy up, do what you need to do, but don't take anything out. And I'm forever grateful for that I followed my heart and my instinct on that, my intuition, because the time did come that my body healed. I was able to release the disease, release the trauma that caused it, the emotional trauma, and now I'm well and everything's still intact. So it's just knowing within you. So being super focused on what you want, but without trying. So the other reason to be super focused too is there are things in our brains called neural pathways. And it's like when you learn an instrument, you start off and you really suck at this instrument. But if you keep practicing over and over and over and over again, eventually one day it clicks. Now, it could take a couple of weeks, could take a couple of months, could take a couple of years, but it's just creating these new neural pathways, and then it locks in. And once you've done that, it's locked in for life. Riding a bike, driving a car, they're all creating neural pathways. And it's the same with beliefs and thoughts and feelings, that you can change them to create what you want, to then guide yourself into the life that you want. So if you have one mindset right now, but it's not in alignment with the mindset of the person that you need to be to have the life that you want, then if you're focused on what you want and you start feeling it within you that that is your life, and you hold on to that, but you keep taking the action and the progress to move forward, then you will create new neural pathways in your brain. It just has to happen to guide you to the life that you want. It's when you start turning around and looking at the reality that you've got right now and focusing on that, you're going to create more of that. It's focusing on the life that you want and being there already within yourself. Maybe your reality doesn't reflect that right now, but just being there within yourself and living it and breathing it and being that person that you need to be to create that life. Now, when you do that, the universe can then take you on a path. It might go over here, then it might go over here, then it might go over here, then it might create a storm here, and then you're going on with all these different things in your life thinking, when's it going to happen? But if you're focused on you want to get to here, then you need to take that path, and the universe will guide you. Your soul will guide you. Your higher self will guide you, and it will zigzag all over the place. But maybe to get to that point, there are things that you need to learn or experiences that you need to have along the way to actually get you to that point. So staying focused, not listening to anybody else. If you've got a dream that people say that is totally unrealistic, that will never happen, stop listening to them and focus on your dream. and allow yourself to be guided to it. And see the opportunities that come up, the messages that come up. Because if you're focused here and you're not seeing the messages coming up and you keep going over the same old, eventually the universe will smack you in the face. It'll, with a brick wall, it will come up, it will just, and you'll turn around and go, why did that happen? But and this is where finding the gift in what's happening. When things feel like they're not going right, they're actually going right. But at the time you may not see it. But if you can then take a step back and look at it and see that you're focused on this goal. So this storm needed to happen to, get you off, you might be on this road, but you need to be on this road, to move you over onto the road that you need to be on. So staying focused, staying on the path, but listening to yourself or your higher self, the guidance to your soul, and listening to your intuition and be guided by the messages and the opportunities that come up. And knowing that if, this really amazing opportunity might come up, but it doesn't come through, of not getting upset about that. If it does upset you, feel the feels, allow yourself to feel it, but don't stay there. Allow yourself to, 24 hours to get through it, or, however long it takes to get through it, but stay focused on your goal and keep moving forward. And then you will create these new neural pathways and things will start to fall into place. And then one day you'll turn around and go, oh, wow, you might be living the life that you've been dreaming of, but you don't realize it until one day you actually stop and you see it. So, the destination is the journey. It's all part of the whole experience of getting to this life that you're focusing on. So stay focused. Don't let anyone sway you or knock you off your path. Just stay focused on what you want and know within yourself. This is why it's a good idea, or I believe it's a good idea, to not go telling everyone what your dreams are, because they all have their own beliefs and they can only come from their own experience, their own beliefs, and they will share those with you quite openly and quite happily and try and keep you down to where they feel safe, because they believe that that's what's best for you. But for a lot of people play it safe because that's what they've been taught to believe. But be guided by your heart and stay focused on your dream and allow those opportunities to come up for you and follow them. Follow those messages, but stay focused. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you again soon. Bye.